Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'Cause we always give it one last try. Yeah, you've watched me break 1,000 times. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. In the morning, I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight.
Hello, everybody. What's going on, my friends? Hello. I hope everybody's doing good, doing well. I know I am. Give me 1 second that the audio went down on me, and I cannot get it. So give me 2 seconds. I closed the mixer. Bad habit of doing that. Okay. There we go. Okay, guys, today we are being joined by AJ and Pudge as our guest. Corey right now is away. He is not joining us because family issues, and I don't I want to wish him all the best. We're sending him all our love.
Let's get some hearts in the chat for Corey.
Yeah,
guys.
let's get some hearts out there. He's going through a difficult time right now, so yeah, definitely.
We miss him a lot.
Yes, we do.
Okay, my friends, let me just close that. There we go. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well, doing good. I know I am. So yeah, so much things have happened this month. I'm super excited. We have lots to talk about. I hope you guys are as ready as we are, because we are super stoked. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna start with Pudge. Pudge, how are you, man? What's new and exciting? Please tell us, what have you been up to on your channel? What's going on over there?
Well, good to see you. I hope things are going well for you. For those that don't know me that's in the chat, I'm Pudge007. And some new things. I mean, we've had some new releases that have come out here recently. We've had The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. So I've been doing some playthroughs of that. And, I finished Part 2, and I'm starting Ghost of Tsushima now. So that's one thing that I'm doing. And like I've always do in my channel, I always do like Metal Gear, Mega Man, and Resident Evil live play. So I've been going back and doing those from time to time. So I've been revisiting some of those types of things. And also I do a thing in my channel called Blind Retro Playthrough, where people on the channel actually vote for a retro game that I've never played before. And we play those. We actually started another one yesterday, and I was playing Crash Bandicoot for the first time. And
That's
man,
right.
let me tell you, I played it I finally got to can't remember the name of it, but pretty much where you get to like the lab or whatever.
Yep.
And that kangaroo dude, let me tell you what now. That kangaroo. I bet I died to that dude like 70 times. It was terrible. Like, I couldn't, okay, I beat it, and then I progressed, and then I lost all my lives, and I had to go find him again, and it was awful. But it was fun. So we were doing a death counter. At this point, I'm at 143 deaths. But anyway, so that's kind of what I've been doing. So, I mean, we do a variety type thing, but that's kind of what we've been up to in the channel. But it's been fun. We've been growing a lot, and it's just been a lot of fun. So I appreciate you asking.
That's fantastic.
And I'm done.
AJ, what about you? What's new and exciting on your side? You're on Twitch, so this is gonna be fun. Go ahead.
Yes. Hey guys, everyone. Good to see you all in the world of YouTube. I am AJ Big Plays. I am on Twitch. So the big exciting thing that happened for me this month is, as of July 10th, I went full-time as a content creator, which
Oh,
is
wow.
super duper exciting. Yeah,
All right, that's
congratulations.
great.
GG!
Congrats.
Thank you. Yes. So I'm actually working really hard on the Team Red side, making a lot of original YouTube content, trying to push out new videos once a week, as well as having a longer streaming schedule on the Twitch side.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been super duper fun. I've been using this opportunity to really explore a lot of older games. I just did a video where I revisited the original Sonic Adventure 20 years later, which was super cool. And yeah, just kind of not only just revisiting some of those classics, but catching up on some of those new releases that previously with, my full-time job, I didn't have time to get caught up on. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun in the past couple of weeks over here and looking forward to the future too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mama Remy, what about you? What's new with your channel? What have you been doing? How is the gameplay of Final Fantasy going?
The only thing really new on my channel is I introduced offline plays, which is on the weekend, which is I have a lot of games that community has actually been purchasing for me during the week off of my Steam wish list. I'm sorry, and I wanted to play them for them and show them, and it's actually come to my attention that I should put them on a separate channel and play more games. So I'm actually going to be taking my offline plays that I started to do on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'm making a purely uploaded channel. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have 2 channels here really soon to balance. So yeah, but it's gonna be really fun because I'm looking towards a lot of games that since it'll be taken away from the live stream channel, and I'm purely family friendly. There, I can look into other games such as Castlevania,
Yeah.
or maybe the Persona series, maybe some of more of a shooter type based, maybe God, the name you put me on the spot, Rigo. You put me on the spot. Like Mass Effect and things like that.
Yeah.
Kind of digging into maybe Pudge's area here a little bit. But things that I can record.
Yeah,
and,
because it's all
cut down.
mine.
Yeah, it's all yours. But and also some older RPG retro games that I've never been able to play before that maybe my community would not really like to see. So it gives me a chance to explore other than Nintendo games. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of excited about that.
What are you gonna name the channel?
Ask me that in about a month because I've been
Okay,
racking my
I've
head
got a
around
name
that.
for you. I've got a name
What?
for you. Ready?
What?
Mama Remy After Dark.
Ooh.
That's a good
Ooh.
one.
Ooh.
Ooh, I like that. Let me write that down. Hold on. I gotta write that down.
I mean, because you say it's things that you can't do typically because it's family friendly. So you got Mama Remy and then Mama Remy After Dark. I mean,
Why not, right? Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
and it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you just him After Dark. I mean, you see that for like talk show hosts too. So
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks
For sure.
anyway, I'm being quiet again. I just had to throw that out there.
Very much appreciated.
Chadley, what about you, my friend? What's new on your channels?
I don't know if I've really started anything new since the last TacoCast. Other than I started playing through Final Fantasy VII on Twitch, which that in itself has been a challenge because I had a copy of the game and my first disc must have some damage on it because I keep getting to the same spot in the game
Yeah.
and it would crash on me. So I actually had to call up a buddy of mine to see if he still had a copy of it. So I'm actually borrowing his copy just so I can finish playing through the first disc,
Yeah.
and hopefully my other 2 discs will be fine. But other than that, I mean, I've just been still rocking Mario Maker 2. I've been really getting into multiplayer versus because for whatever reason I've just really enjoy watching other people do multiplayer versus and just really wanted to try it on my own. So I'm on the insane quest of getting S+ in multiplayer versus. So
Oh, for sure.
it's been a long journey so far.
For sure, I believe it. I have, as you guys all know, I'm on Twitch and I also upload videos on YouTube. On Twitch, I've actually been streaming a lot of Minecraft. I've gotten really addicted to the dang game, and so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing all Minecraft. Which actually Monday we are releasing our first episodic video. It's going to be an actual show that I created completely out of Minecraft. So there will be
That's cool.
voice acting
That's awesome.
and all that stuff. So definitely keep an eye out because I'm gonna be releasing it Monday, probably after my stream, so then everybody can take a look at it. And yeah, so I'm very excited about that. I put a trailer up on my YouTube channel, so you guys can check that out if you want. Other than that, I keep doing the multiplayer thing. So Tuesdays I play with my brother. We've been doing a lot of Dark Souls, and then with Chadley we've been playing a lot of Diablo on Saturdays. So that's the different change that we've been doing. But overall, it's been good.
3?
It's been good. Everything's been doing
What
really
Souls
good.
are you doing?
We're doing Dark Souls 3. We're doing
Okay.
yeah, 1 stat challenge. So we can only
Ooh.
yeah, we can only do 1 stat. So I'm doing strength and he's doing dexterity. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, wow.
All right, my friends. Well, there's so much to talk about. So let's jump into the first one, and that's Nintendo. So Nintendo did their mini direct, and people are not happy about it. They just said that they should have waited and done a big direct instead of just a little small one. What are your thoughts on this? The games they showed was what's that dance game called? Candace of Hyrule or whatever it's called. So they
Cadence
showed that.
of Hyrule?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Cadence.
Yeah.
Yeah. They showed Rogue Company, WWE 2K. They showed a remaster of Shin Megami. Is it Tensei? Is that how you say it? I
Yes.
think.
It's the Persona original series.
Yeah.
Persona is the spin-off of these.
So they showed all that off, and yeah, so people are, they have mixed feelings, but a lot of them are just mainly saying they should have done a direct. So let's go ahead and jump into it and tell me your thoughts on this. So, AJ, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so, with the Nintendo Direct, I think the biggest thing I think that was the disappointment for everyone was that this is a time of the year where typically, these big blockbuster companies would be announcing their big blockbuster titles that are going to be released for the holiday season, And especially in lieu of E3 this year, I think everyone was really expecting Nintendo to drop the hammer and really, make a big splash, especially with Microsoft and Sony releasing new consoles. So I think more than anything, it was disappointment over the lack of content, in addition to disappointment in comparison to some of the other companies and the things that they were announcing too.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Pudge? Did you get a chance to take a look at that Nintendo Direct?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of Nintendo stuff. I mean, I looked at some of the things, but the thing that this happens with every company. I remember when Sony, had when they first showed the PlayStation 5, it was like, oh, what is this? It was pretty much, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but pretty much he was just talking about a bunch of like science jargon about, oh, it's going to be doing this or that. Yeah. I just feel like this is just one of those times that this happens, and they'll come out with something later in the next a month or so, and I mean, because we've got big games that are coming out, and they want to make sure that they do those right, such as the Breath of the Wild 2, or possibly the Metroid Prime 4. Those types of things are in the works as well. So I mean, if they're not ready to show those yet, and I think a lot of this had to do with, from when I was reading on the writing of it, it was more about just kind of showing off people that were ready to show things off. A lot of people weren't yet, so I think they were just trying to appease those creators more than anything. Now, I get it, as a fan, it was kind of very underwhelming. I'm not going to lie, it was very underwhelming from what I saw, but I feel like just saying that, oh, they're always gonna be able to come up with something. They're not gonna be able to compare with Sony and Xbox the same way. They always do their own thing, and they always do it well. So I'm not worried about it. I feel like maybe it was I don't know if overreaction is the right word, but I don't feel like people should be too upset that like things aren't going to be better on the horizon for Nintendo, because they're going to find a way. They always do.
Exactly. Mama Remy, what about you?
Oh my god, let me be the first to just say that the American Nintendo Direct was absolute trash. I'm just gonna put that out there. The Japanese one was so much better. It had so much more appealing games, which I hope, please, Japanese, Nintendo, please release these games to America soon so I can play these games, because there were so many games in that Direct that look so much better than 99.9999999 whatever repeating % of the games that was in the American Direct. And most people didn't even realize that the Japanese Direct was different than the American Direct until you looked at the time difference, and it's like, well, why is this one longer? And then you watch it, and then there's all these really cool games.
Yeah.
But to pull back, I think the fact that Nintendo are doing these smaller directs is the fact that they're you could, presume that they are trying to compete with Xbox and, PlayStation. They're coming out with new consoles. They're showcasing all these new games. All these, games are coming, with these consoles at release, and they're trying to keep up because they're in the middle of the Switch is right in the middle of its lifespan, and there's really no reason to improve on the Switch. Now they should be coming up with something here soon. We should start hearing things about maybe the next console after the Switch here soon. But with the Switch being in the middle of its lifespan, they're not really going to start releasing anything. And then with this whole human malware thing going on, I think a lot of everyone's stuff is down. The resources are down, the time is down, they don't have the manpower behind this, so I don't think we're really going to hear a lot from Nintendo unless they're waiting right before Black Friday, right before Christmas, sort of like the fall quarter to release these games to try to drive sales up. But yeah, these small directs from everybody, including the Xbox, which we're going to get into later, is just they're really lackluster, and I'm not looking at it from the standpoint of, oh, you just want this game to be released, or we want Crash 3, I'm totally making things up here, guys, because I don't play Crash and all that stuff. We want, we want Persona 10. We want, Mario Sunshine Galaxy Super Heart 5. Just they want these very specific games. They want these games to continue, but that's all that they want. And if they don't get it, it's I've got a rage right now. Where are you? Kids, get off my lawn type anger. And that's not the case. They're trying to do something, but it's just not what we want as a fan base, as a consumer of these products. So when other people get games that look really, really cool, I hope that they come to America soon so I can keep my faith in Nintendo going. Please, Kay, thanks, bye.
Hey, Doc. Chadley, what about you, buddy?
I think I agree with everybody that, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest, but I feel like Nintendo is trying to do this thing where they've got a lot of companies, that's why they called this the partner showcase, I guess, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have a lot of they got a lot of smaller companies that don't get enough attention. It's kind of a shame that some of the games that they tried to show off probably weren't what everybody was expecting, obviously, with all of the heat that they're getting. The last couple times they've done any type of announcements, they've been getting nothing but bad reactions to it because people have such high expectations of Nintendo always bringing the top tier games announced.
Sorry, my wife just scared the crap out of me. You're on TV. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
No, it's okay. So top tier games, like everybody's expecting Breath of the Wild 2. Everybody's expecting them to say what's coming next after Odyssey. Are they gonna do all of these remasters? Like all these top tier games that everybody wants to hear about, but they're just not ready. They're not ready to talk about that stuff. So they have to come up with something to talk about. And I think this is just while you're waiting type of thing. Here are some companies that you might want to look into. These are some games that you might want to look into. Yeah. And some of them are franchises that you already heard about. So it's not like it's totally all left field games that you don't even know about. So I don't know. To me, that's what that direct seemed like. It was more they were yeah, we don't have anything to say right now, but here's some companies that you might want to at least give them a chance type of thing. I don't know. But the last two types of directs that they've done, everybody's expecting something that Nintendo's not ready to give them. So
yeah, for sure. So I could admit that after it was done, I said that it was an epic fail, but then I started really thinking about it after, and I was like, well, it's because I was expecting something else, so I understood, and I'm like, so technically it's not a big fail, but it's not I should have gone in with a different view of it, but I still was disappointed with it because I felt it's unfortunate. It's just companies that I don't really care for. It's Nintendo. I was expecting to hear something from Nintendo, and I think they should have just waited for a bigger direct. But I wouldn't say what some of these people are like. People are saying Nintendo's dead. Like they're doing really bad now. This year they're failing. But it's not really like that, you know. I mean, they just started getting back into
you can't really say that though, you know, with what Mom Remy said about the what did you call the pandemic? What did you call it?
Human
malware.
Human malware, yes.
Exactly. So that's exactly how I look at it.
Right when that started, Switches were selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
They sold a lot. So I mean, if you look at it that way, I mean, they're still doing okay. Hey, Super Duper.
Now I do want to add something, just as devil's advocate.
Love you.
At the same time, you know, and so agreeing with what Chadley said, you know, Nintendo was not ready to show these big games. They teased Breath of the Wild 2. They've been teasing Metroid for who knows how long. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've been teasing Pikmin 2, and that in conjunction with a couple months ago, you know, there was the alleged leak that they were allegedly remastering all the Mario games, and we got Paper Mario 2 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good, but at what point, though, do you, you know, continue to see, you know, other competitor companies such as Microsoft and such as Sony just, you know, and we'll talk about, I'm sure, the Microsoft thing, you know, later in this podcast, but at what point do you, you know, see all these other competitors putting out this consistent AAA titles and still continue to say, oh, well, it's okay if Nintendo only has, you know, one, maybe two considered, you know, flagship franchise games. And, you know, me referring to Animal Crossing and Paper Mario as the standouts of 2020. Animal Crossing has definitely been a standout, but
Bravely Default 2 is coming here soon, so just
what is?
Bravely Default 2.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, snap.
Please come soon.
Yo, $10 donation.
Albert Chin.
Albert.
$10
Thank
super
you.
chat, man. Yeah, dude.
Thank you very much. Everyone hashtag Albert in the chat. Show some love. Super appreciate that, man.
Pudge Meister.
Pudge Meister.
Also,
yeah,
Nintendo might be like thinking, we already know that these big games are going to sell regardless, you know.
That's the
so
thing,
it's like,
right?
and like AJ said, they teased Breath of the Wild 2, but that was before the pandemic. People forget that was like over a year ago already.
Wow, it was a while back.
Has it really?
Breath of the Wild 2 was teased. It was last year.
Yeah.
At E3.
At E3.
Wow.
I think so, yeah. But still, like it's been a year already since they teased it, and it was before the malware hit. It was before, all this crazy stuff that's been happening, and we just got to remember that everything was put on a halt for a good few months before people could actually start getting back to like working normally, even in like the developer space, because that's what I do.
Right.
And even I was affected by like the first month where I still had work to do, but it was a mind shift, because like you're so used to coming into the office, you're so used to like having everyone you can collaborate with, and now it's just you. Like I'm just home. I rarely get to talk to many of my coworkers because we're all busy doing work, and I'm used to being able to just like turn around and just talk to one of my coworkers right behind me, but I can't do that now. So it's like, we all have to remember that it's like, it's not going to come as quickly as we want it to anymore.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Well, like Stephie says, as long as they continue with their console exclusives and appeal to the whole families, Nintendo will be legend in their own, their own section, not compared to Xbox or Sony. And it's always been like that. Let's be real. It's always been Xbox and PlayStation doing their own thing against each other. But Nintendo's always had their own little thing, their own little space. So there you go.
That's true.
All right. So speaking Nintendo again, Lego and Nintendo showed off something actually really cool. I actually want one, but I just don't want to pay the money. It's a Lego NES console. You get the console, you get the control, you get a little TV and something that you like basically put into the TV, so it's like Mario. And yeah, the only thing is the price is at $229 US. I think it was like $399 Canadian. But what are your thoughts on the little cool collection that they released? And I mean, if you could, would you pick one up? So let's start with Pudge.
Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't play any games, so I mean, I think it's neat, but I mean, as a collector's item for me, I mean, I have a regular Nintendo that I can use, and I mean, this is neat. If you're a huge like Nintendo fan and like to get those kind of stuff, you know, if you love Lego type stuff, great. But I mean, I look at that, I'm like, $50 maybe, but not $230. I mean,
Yeah.
my goodness. I mean, I really, but that's Nintendo at its best, right? You know, whenever, because I do some Resident Evil games on my channel too. Like a lot of the games that you get on Resident Evil on Switch now, they're like 3 times the price you get them on like PlayStation or Xbox. So it's just like the same thing with the Lego set. You put Nintendo on it and things cost like 3 or 4 times as much. So I feel like that's all it is more of the name more than anything. And just because it's just a little quirky, because it actually looks like a regular Nintendo with the TV and everything. So I mean, if that's your thing, great. But for me, it just doesn't really appeal to me for me to get that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, just to add, it comes with a crank that you turn, and the little Mario moves on the screen.
Oh, I'm sold now. I gotta get it. I got it.
I had to add that. I knew that would convince you. AJ, what about you?
Man,
what are your thoughts on this?
Money.
Yeah, so in agreement with what Pudge said, this is going to be an item strictly for these hardcore, like, gotta have it all kind of collectors. This is really going to appeal to collectors that are interested in the 80s era of Nintendo, and also collectors that are interested in that same era of Lego, because Lego in itself is also a very collectible type of thing. And the price tag, just like what Pudge said, it's going to be associated with Nintendo. It's got the name on it. Instantly, 3 or 4 times more expensive. Now, overall, the construction of it looks pretty legit. They have a really nice high-res model of it on their website that I checked out, and it does actually come with a fake Lego NES cartridge too.
Yeah.
Got all the pins attached. But at $229, this is going to appeal mainly to the hardcore collectors, and I think not a whole lot else.
For sure. Mama Remy, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I'm actually kind of excited for it. I think someone in the chat said it best when they said it's going to be a scalper's paradise. If you can afford it, to go and buy a couple of them, wait for them to be sold out, and then just double the price, and people will pay for it. So you're going to make a pretty penny off of that. If you do that, send thanks to Mama Remy. I do like dino nuggets, and I do like coffee. So, you can always come back and kind of, say thanks, with a plate of dino nuggets. That'd be great. Anyways, but, just overall, kind of putting the price tag off to the side a little bit, it is something neat. I think that the fact that Nintendo and all these other companies, even if they haven't yet, retro is coming back. Retro is actually cool now. So they're jumping on the retro bandwagon. So with the fact that Lego is so popular nowadays, and Lego is something that, all kids, of all ages, and even adults of all ages, like Legos, the fact that you can bring back something that's retro and something that's cool and something nostalgic with Legos, that you can, introduce, hey kids, this is what I used to play on when I was your age, and the fact that it's Legos are going to draw the kids in. So you can discuss, all these really cool games. And then the fact that they actually brought some of these games to the Nintendo Online is, something that you can introduce your kids to, because, most kids want to have the online so they can play the multiplayer, like Splatoon and, on Minecraft and all this other crap, that's actually on, the Nintendo. I think it's actually really good, and I think that this might be the start of, other lines, like the N64 and the GameCube and, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll get to the point where we'll be like 3 consoles ahead of the Switch, and like they'll finally bring out the Switch and be like, back in my day, we played the Nintendo Switch, and it was one of the best consoles ever. And then I remember the great, apocalypse of games and but, I just think it's a neat concept. Yeah, now bring the price back in. Yeah, that's way too much. Bring the price down a little bit, and then maybe I'll consider buying it. But that would be a really cool Christmas present for me. Just putting it out there for anybody.
Boom, Christmas. Chadley, what about you, buddy?
So I was trying to put it in perspective, because we all know Lego sets are expensive.
Yep.
And we also know that Lego likes to pick on the they like to pull the heartstrings of anyone that loves any type of franchise. Star Wars mainly.
Yep.
I was thinking about let me just look up how much the Millennium Falcon goes for now. Millennium Falcon is a 7,000 piece set. and you are lucky to find it under $800. So in relation to how much this thing costs, like that's actually cheap for a Lego set.
How much did it cost at first, though?
$800.
When it first came out?
Yeah.
Retail?
Yeah.
Dang.
No, I think
That's
that might
insane.
be the ultimate edition because they've had multiple variations of the Millennium Falcon
Yeah,
come
there are
out
so many different
over the years, but they have an ultimate one, which is the biggest one they've ever made at the 7,000 piece size, and that's like $800. And like, yes, the Nintendo system is still expensive at $300 or what, 230, 220, yeah, 229 US. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's cool that it acts like it's a real thing. It even has the old RCA red and yellow ports on the side and like all that kind of stuff. And it, I guess, interacts with that other Lego set they released with the Mario figurine.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the one it was more geared
you-
towards
yeah,
younger.
You can put the Mario figurine on top of the TV, and then as you pull push the crank, like twist the crank, like Mario is supposed to like change his expressions and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's cool. It's a cool concept and everything, but it's just like, I agree with everybody that I'm not going to be getting one because I could spend that $230 elsewhere, and it would be much more worthwhile, I guess, than having a Lego set that would collect dust after I put it together once. So
We can go out for chicken dinner. That would make me a lot more happy than having a Lego set
true.
on my
Eh.
and I'll still have
dust.
I could take you all to chicken dinner, and I'd still have money left over. So
Yeah, but if you're in the chat right now and that thing is pulling on your heartstrings and you've got the money and you've got to have it, we're not saying that you shouldn't get it. We're just saying.
oh
personally,
no, yeah.
you know, but
Personally,
we're not trying to talk you out of it. Like if you want it, man, go buy and get it, man. And then if you're a scalper, just do what Mama Remy said, and you can make some money. So.
Yeah, by all means get it now because in a month, you know,
yeah, if you
it's
don't
gonna be
get
gone.
it now,
And
yeah.
if by chance you want to pick one up for one of us, I mean, we'll gladly accept it too.
I'm sure to
Yeah.
stand in line for 2 weeks before it even drops, though.
Yeah. Hey, and zombie. Hey, zombies confirmed what you said, Chadley, about it being $800 at launch. The Lego
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon.
yeah,
so.
yeah.
It's expensive.
Man,
Right?
that's more than a lot of people's mortgages. What are you
$800.
talking about, man? What?
Yeah.
$800 for a lot of plastic that you can put together. That's
$800 for a lot of plastic that I'm going to step on and say bad things later.
yeah.
Oh man.
Good to see you, zombie. Hope you're doing good, my friends. Good to see you, bud.
So, moving on to consoles, Atari VCS is now for pre-order, and the price is at $389.99. So you get from Atari, like there are hundreds of all their classic games, but also it plays modern games. They say it's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth compatible. It has a custom Linux operating system on it. It streams, and they're saying that it's supposed to be the console to compete with the new Xbox and PlayStation. So that's what they want. What do you guys think? Are you willing to try it, or would you just skip it and go right for the next gen because it's just something that's not going to be able to compete? So let's go ahead and jump with Pudge. What do you think, man?
So I didn't even know about this. So just help me out here. So it's saying it's supposed to compete, but all it has is the old Atari games, right?
As of right now, it has.
It doesn't have anything new.
There's no games announced for it, as far as I
There are
know.
some
Okay,
remasters, I think, though. Some HD remasters.
Yeah.
Okay. So
The intention is for
why-
them to pick up on third-party,
Okay.
some third-party developers eventually.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. If they want to give me one, I will be glad to use that and showcase it. But it has to be for me purchasing it. Probably not. I mean, I didn't grow up with an Atari. The very first console I had was the NES. So it's not pulling on my heartstrings. Now, for somebody that might be just slightly older than me, or a little bit older than me, I could see how I'd probably be a little bit more interested in it. But I just didn't grow up playing those games, so I just don't really have a whole lot of interest in that. But I mean, if I did, and I actually got to play that, and I had a lot of a following that was big into that, I could see myself actually getting something like that. But just for me personally, no. But you know, just from what I'm listening to you guys and what they're saying, I think it's a pretty cool thing. If they're trying to get back into the game, it's not a bad way to try to see if they're able to do it. So.
Yeah. AJ, what are your thoughts on the Atari?
Yeah, so, you know, just reading on some of the specs of the Atari VCS, in all actuality, it has a lot more, I think, included than a lot of people realize, because not only is it going to come included with its own OS, which is called Atari Home, but it also apparently can also be coded with its own OS, meaning you can have Windows 10 on this thing. You know, is the timing right? I don't really know. Was the timing right to make a new Intellivision? I don't know. You know, it's kind of one of those things where we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. You know, I think in the way of features and really putting itself out there as a competitor, Atari seems to be knowing what it's doing, and it seems to be, you know, including some of the steps in the right direction with the, you know, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth capability, streaming service, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be big and buff enough to really put itself as a competitor against any of the big names in the industry right now? I think we'll probably just have to wait and see. I see it more as a entertainment device than I do as a gaming console.
Yeah, for sure. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
Back in my days, Sonny, I remember my grandpa and I getting into his truck and we drove 3 hours one way to a flea market, and there was an auction at that flea market and they had a full set of Atari games with an Atari system. No, sorry, I can't keep that voice up. But no, there was an auction, and I remember the Atari system being there, and it had, I think, all games except for like maybe 10 of them. And it was the only thing I really wanted, and because it was a video game system that I knew that I could hook up to my grandparents' TV, and it could sit out in the back porch, and I could actually play it. And I convinced my grandpa to get it for me, and it actually went up really high. He paid a pretty penny for it, but I remember my cousins and I sitting in the back porch playing the Atari, and all these different games. There was boxes upon boxes, because these, you know, cartridges were huge for being these really small games. And so something like that would, you know, appeal, you know, nostalgically for me, because, you know, I grew up playing these, you know, even though I'm really old, like Pud says. But no, I wouldn't pay $400 for something that I could probably make like a $40 Raspberry Pi and be more efficient with, and, you know, play and do the same thing with. But it's the fact that it's there. I just hope Atari's not trying to compete with Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo and all. Please don't let this be the start of something. But no, I would be interested in seeing it and demoing it and playing a few games and seeing what it's actually really like, instead of just seeing like trailers and, you know, like kind of like the showcase and like the dev kits and stuff like that. Like, but I don't think I would pay that much for it when I know it could be done, like I said, with like a $40 Raspberry Pi.
For sure.
And done better.
Bio, thank you for the $5, man. Super appreciate that. Everybody hashtag Bio in the chat. Show him some love.
Bio.
Gotta get those nuggets now. Getting chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
What do you think,
I also
Spanish?
have Dino nuggets in my freezer. Put this
Dino
towards some
salad.
yourself made in Canada.
Oh, what's that? What do I think?
Are you excited about it? What do you think? You seem like you might be a little excited about it. I can see it in your eyes.
So, I'm looking at it, and you get to change the front. But no, here's the thing. The only thing that really interests me is what AJ was saying about installing your own OS on it. It looks like they want to push it not only to be a console, but like an everything type thing. So you don't have to worry about having a computer. So that's what they're saying. I don't know, but for $300 or $400, and I don't even know if this is US. I'm gonna assume it's US price, so I'm assuming it's gonna be like $400, $500 in Canada. I just can't justify spending that much, and I'm worried that if I bought it, I'd probably leave it there, play 1 or 2 times, and then be like, okay, I'm done. If they gave me one and they said, here,
Do they have any screenshots of any of the games that are coming, like these remastered ones that you and AJ were talking about? Do they have any screenshots for that?
there's no screenshot. There's a trailer for it on YouTube.
I didn't see it on the website.
Yeah, on the website it's just a bunch of pictures, but yeah.
Yeah.
The design, I mean, the design, they're trying to go that retro feel of what their consoles were with the Atari, right? That little plastic in the front and the wood panel in the front. But I mean, it's
you can
not
customize it too.
yeah,
Three colors.
it's not a bad idea.
Woohoo.
I just don't think it's needed at this moment. I would have just done it more of a check out our little Atari that plays all our classic games. $100.
I mean, like
Then
kind
I
of like
would've
an
been
Atari
like, yeah.
Classic instead of like
An Atari Mini.
like an NES Classic and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would have gone that route with this, but no. I mean, good on them, and I wish them luck, and I hope they get all the support they hope to get. So, what about you, Chadley? What are your thoughts on this console?
So, because I do follow some retro gamers that are in the YouTube community that make a lot of videos about this. This has been around for quite a while, and I feel like it's a little bit late for them to be bringing something like this to the table, because it originally was announced around the big hype of all of the mini consoles like NES, Super Nintendo. So it's been that long. I mean, it's been out. I mean, they've been working on this thing for a very long time.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've actually looked at the finished product to see what all it offers. Because before, like, there was never any talks about getting the ability to like load your own OS on this thing. They basically were just initially talking about it being a box that would play all of the retro games at HD quality, and then potentially being powerful enough to play other games from other developers, almost like a cheaper version. It's not really a cheaper option because it's $300 some, so it's not really that much cheaper than the top tier consoles that you can buy. But
How much they're going to cost? What you talking about?
what
We don't know
What?
how much these new ones are going to cost.
Obviously more than the Atari.
Okay, if the PlayStation 5 comes out and they say that it's $399, no one will want to buy this for $10 less. So
You got that dang right.
Bingo.
So again, this is gonna, people that are gonna want this are people that are like diehard Atari fans that have to have that need to play these classic Atari games. And I don't know, it just, to me, it, because of knowing the history of this console and how they have been caught in a few
Video computer system. That's what VCS stands for.
So I guess they had the plan of doing that whole time, but they weren't really focusing on the computer system part of it. But
Yeah.
they have been caught in a few times where like they allowed people to like preview the system, and I guess that was a disaster. And there's been a lot of like back and forth with people because it started off as a Kickstarter project. I think, if I remember correctly, it started off as a Kickstarter project. People started getting all upset about it because like there was like 5 months where they didn't hear anything about it. Like no news, what was going on with it or anything. So like the people that were backing this system were starting to get antsy, like to like, am I just throwing money at a Kickstarter project that's just gonna die? You know? So for me personally, I was never really that big into Atari. My first console was the Intellivision, so I thought it was kind of intriguing when when someone said they were going to bring a new Intellivision to the market. But yeah, I mean, I was so young when Atari was out, so I don't have any nostalgia for it. So for me, I don't see myself getting this, but I feel that Atari would have done better with a classic, just stuck with like the basic mini classic route, go with a cheaper price tag, and they probably would have sold a lot more units than almost being $400 to play games that are like 16 colors.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
For sure. No, I agree. It's hard, right? Like, I don't know, man. Thank you all for who have been subscribing. Super appreciate that, guys. Welcome to the TacoTeam. Welcome to the family. Yeah, no, it's hard because it's like what Chadley says. I mean, if the new systems were to be $399 or the rumored $199 that they're saying that the Xbox base version is gonna be, that's hard to compete with. You're gonna obviously want to go towards the newer gen, especially if it's only $10 difference. But good luck. Like I said, good luck to Atari. I hope maybe it's something that we're underestimating, and only next thing you know, it's like this great console. It turns out to be something awesome. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, so Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding. These games have come out. Now, Death Stranding came out a while back, but they just released it for the PC, which is unlocking new features and extra support, like ultra-wide mode for those people who have those big monitors, and newer missions. So people are giving it really good hype. They're saying on the PC it looks beautiful and it runs, if not better, than the PS4. So that's pretty good. Ghost of Tsushima has been rocking it as well. It came out, what, maybe a week ago? Two ago?
Yeah.
And
Just
it,
a little over a week ago.
yeah, and it's been killing it with sales. Like, it ran over Last of Us hard. From it being gorgeous, they're saying, to a beautiful story, and the controls are good. People are just praising it for everything it brings. So let's go ahead and discuss. Have you guys gotten a chance to play it? Are you going to play it? And have you gotten or just watch somebody play it? Have you guys gotten a chance to do that? So let's go ahead and start with Pudge. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay, well, like you said, Ghost of Tsushima just came out. I'll start with it first. Came out last week on Friday. I did right when it came out, I played it and kind of showed off what it could do, and it's a really, really well done game. It's like, I would say this game is like a mixture between Assassin's Creed, Sekiro. If you've ever played Sekiro, the combat's very similar to Sekiro, which won Game of the Year last year, by the way. It was kind of between that and Death Stranding, and that one won. It's funny that we're talking about Death Stranding now. The combat's like that, but also has some other mixture of other games like the map and like how you traverse things is very similar to Horizon Zero Dawn as well. There's some other ones, but those are the big ones that jump out to me. And I tell you what, man, if you haven't seen this game, it's one of the most beautiful games when it comes to landscapes. Let me endorize that. When it comes to landscapes, one of the most beautiful games out there. You can get lost in that world. If you really like to get in a world that you really can just get lost in.
Yeah.
Where it has like side missions that have so much substance to it, maybe some in some other games from their main story. There's so much to this game. It's so beautiful. Like when it comes to the main characters, facial animations and stuff are really well done. When you get past that, it gets a little iffy on that. That would be one of my few knocks on it. I mean, this is the first, besides Infamous Second Son, this is the only thing that Sucker Punch has really come out with, and it's really well done. But I've only, like I said, like you get lost in it. There's so many acts on it. I don't know how many. I just finished Act 1, and what I've done now, I haven't started the main story to continue on. There's like 3 parts to the map. And you start at the bottom and work your way up to the top. I'm still trying to do the bottom third because I just want to complete everything because I want to see everything because there's so much substance to it. So I mean, if you're really wanting a game that's going to be worth your money, Ghost of Tsushima is it, and it is a PlayStation exclusive. We'll talk about Xbox a little bit later, but again, another PlayStation exclusive, just killing it. And like you said, I think it's at like 2.4 million sales after a week, so it's really doing good on the sales. So really highly recommend it. Now, just shortly on Death Stranding, I played that when it first came out on PS4. If you don't have it and you have a PC, I highly recommend it as well. Now, it's going to be one of those games where you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. Okay, it's another game that you get kind of lost in. But you get lost in it because you're kind of isolated, and it's like you versus like the landscape type of game. And it's got a great story, but it does take a while to build up. Like there's the first 3 or 4 missions, like the first 3, it really is very slow with the very beginning. Natalia, that's in here, she can attest to this. When you get to mission 4, I mean, everything just craps on you, and then the mission, and it really picks up, and it really gets a lot quicker after that. But it's another beautiful. I think it might be when it comes to people, landscapes, and that kind of thing. It might be one of those beautiful games out there as well. I hear it came with a very hard mode. So if you found a lot of people found that the hard mode was too easy on it. So if you wanted more of a challenge, you can get that on PC as well. So I think I looked a couple of days ago. It was the top selling game on Steam, I think.
Oh wow.
So I mean, it's been getting a lot of hype because of that. And but that's my take on it. I feel like, am I going to get it on PC? I think I might later when it's on sale. I'm not going to get it right now because I've already played it on PlayStation 4 and it's already beautiful and all that kind of stuff. I think I'll get it later when it's on sale, especially it's on PC. They'll do some mods, maybe get to play a Solid Snake. People start doing that kind of stuff on there. You know me, Metal Gear. That's my thing. But that's kind of my take on it, and I feel like that's kind of more around my alley. I think those are a couple of games that if you haven't played, Ghost of Tsushima, I think everybody will love that game. I think Death Stranding is really going to be a little bit more divisive, whether it's going to be half and half people love it or the other half won't.
For sure. AJ, what are your thoughts on all these games?
Yeah, so I will preface by saying I actually haven't played either yet, but they are on my list, to get to. Ghost of Tsushima, I have heard just incredible things about it the past week that it's been out. I have heard nothing but rave reviews. I have people coming in all the time saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. Like this is overall, I've heard it's a great story. I didn't know that about the sales. It already surpassed, Death Stranding, so that is awesome. Really cool.
Part 2's killed it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. As far as Death Stranding goes, I think that the PC release for that game is really going to help its case because if I remember correctly, when that came out, it was so hyped because it was the Kojima masterpiece. It was the game that Kojima was going to just blow, all the strife with Sony and all that out of the water. And a lot of people were disappointed by it due to the fact that I think Kojima's vision for that game was more in the cinematic universe rather than so far as the gameplay and having it really be just like it was supposed to be an immersive experience, but I think as far as the gameplay goes, I think that kind of took a backseat to the visual aspect of it. So the fact that it came out on PC, I think is awesome, that it gave it another chance to really make an impact. And I think that even upping the beauty of the game on PC is really going to let that game shine through on what it was intended to do. So I think that's great.
Oh, for sure. Mama Remy, what about you?
I'm just gonna preface as well and say that I have not played either game. I would like to play them, but I have no intentions of playing them. But I will watch others play them because I have heard really good things about, both. Now some people are gonna be like, but Remy, just hush. I've heard really good things about both. They're both really just intricate stories, intricate, beautiful games of a different kind. And these are the type of games I always laugh and I tell Pudge, you just play it and I'll just come watch. And if I can't watch, then I just add it to my watch later list and I just watch it later while I'm off.
Norman Reedus' bud. I mean, what else do you want?
Pudge, we can't talk about those type of things. You promised you wouldn't tell anybody.
I had to throw it out there. I mean, we had to have an intervention right now.
Intervention, right?
I thought you told you said you wouldn't tell anybody, but no. Anyway, seriously, yeah, these are the type of games that I tell Pudge. I want to play. I'm never going to get a chance to play, even if they do come to PC, because my PC can't handle these type of things. Right now, and I think that because I'm not going to play them myself, and I'm not going to get around to actually like just playing them at all, that this is a good time for me to seek out other content creators that actually do play these games and experience it with them and support them while they do it. But I have heard really good things about both of them. So I implore you guys, if you have a chance of getting them or if they are on your to-do list, if they do come out on the PC, you have a PC that can handle them and you want to play them, even if you have the console that can play them, play them. I've heard really good things about the stories and just or you could just go watch Pudge play them.
Chadley, what about you, buddy?
Anyway.
Yeah, both of those games, I agree. I've heard nothing but good things. Death Stranding, when that came out, I was interested in playing that, but I knew that, unfortunately, because I don't have a PlayStation 4, that I knew I wasn't going to ever get a chance to. But then when they started talking about it coming to the PC, then I got really excited, but then I realized I already have a bunch of games that I need to get to anyway. So
It's a long
yeah.
game too. It's a long
Never-ending
game.
curse.
Yeah, it definitely. I've heard that where it's just a very long game, and I have intentions of playing it. Will I ever get to it? I don't know. Because by the time I get to play it, will I remember that I can play? Like, will I remember that I played it? Because I'll be that old probably. So, but
How long will your beard be after playing it?
that's how we should gauge a game by. Yes, I take a picture before I start the game. I take a picture after we finish the game, and that'll gauge how long I've been playing it.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
Counting rings on a tree, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing before you go, Rico?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I just want to just also preface, with this game, like I would, even though it's a great game to if you want to experience with another person, Death Stranding is a game that Kojima, even though it's not a perfect game by any means, like the action and stuff, it makes sense, but it's not fluid either. So it's really a game I would say best experienced when even you're in isolation in the game, and I would say it's best experienced when you're playing it on your own as well. When I streamed it, it was good, but it's not really a game that's meant to be kind of streamed. It's really for you to kind of be one with yourself in the game, because that's what you're doing in the game. You're isolated, and so I just feel like whenever you're playing through it, when you're streaming it, you can't really play it as well. When it first came out, I started playing, streaming it, but then later on I finished it off on my own, and I feel like I really got to experience and really just got to take more of it in, because I wasn't quote unquote worried about the chat or worried about being spoiled or that kind of thing. I mean, it's just really one of those games I feel like you better can experience, or if you can play it on your own, it's better to do it that way if you can, or if you have like someone on the couch next to you experiencing it that way. But streaming it's not as good. It's just a better game on your own, in my opinion. Again, like I was saying, Kojima gives no ifs, ands, or buts whether if you really like the way he did it. He had a vision and he fulfilled that vision, and that's why I feel like it's so divisive. Like the gameplay that you get in that one is just like none other. Like I remember I was playing Ghost of Tsushima the other day, and there was a place where I couldn't go. I had to go all the way around to get to the bottom of the hill. But if I was playing Death Stranding, I could get one of these ropes, put them down, and climb down, because just the way that you traverse the landscape is like none other game that's out there. So if you like that kind of stuff, then Death Stranding will be for you. Anyway, I just had to throw that out there.
No problem. All right, let's talk about the fun stuff now. So
as long as I'm climbing and it doesn't rain, I'll be happy.
There you go.
A reference to Breath of the Wild there.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I figured.
So Xbox
Time on anything.
Xbox finally did their event, and they showed off lots of games, many games. So a lot of people weren't too impressed with what they saw when it came to the lineup of the Xbox. They showed off a lot of games. There's tons of games like Halo. They showed off a little teaser of Fable, Forza, State of Decay, Warhammer, Phantasy Star, just to name a few. So yeah, let's get discussing, because there's a lot to talk about here. So let's start with Pudge. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Well, and like I said earlier, I did finally get to watch this. I finally watched it. I watched all of it today, and I can kind of see how people were underwhelmed with some of the stuff with Halo. I mean, I've never played a Halo game, so maybe that's something I should add later on in my repertoire. I thought it looked fine, but again, I could see how it's very underwhelming. I was actually watching something that I think it was Ryan, his name on my channel that he comes with on his screen name is Dreamy McStreamy. But he was talking about the reason why it looks that way is because the way the developers utilize different lighting techniques. And it seemed like with Halo Infinite, they used a dynamic lighting scheme, and why that could be a detriment to the way that it affects the visuals of the game. As compared to a lot of the PlayStation games that you've been seeing here lately that look very beautiful. They use a static lighting scheme and they change depending on where you are, like your location in the game or whatnot. So even though it may not be as quote unquote realistic, it just looks more pleasing to the eye per se. They use different types of things. I don't really understand all the ins and outs and how all that works, but it seems like it might just be like a lot of the stuff I saw. There's a picture of one of those enemies and it's like closed in, and the facial capture or whatever of that. I don't know if it's an orc or whatever it is. Like I said, I've never played Halo. It's just very underwhelming compared to like other enemies and some of these other PlayStation exclusives that have come out. But they talk about, it's like, oh, it runs at 4K, 60 frames per second, and it feels like the big thing with Microsoft that you're seeing right now, it's 4K 60, 4K 60, 4K 60. It's like, great. I mean, I get that. I mean, I could play, I could put a game on my PC now, put it at 4K 60, but is it going to be very visually appealing? That's going to be due to what the producers, the people creating the games are going to have to do. I mean, how are they utilizing that? Are they just saying it runs 4K 60, but is it very pleasing to the eye? I think that's where a lot of people with the Halo Infinite and some of the other games are just really upset about that, because it's the main franchise. Now, also with I don't know who the main character, the human was that you saw with Master Chief, and you look at his facial characteristics, and it looks like something that might be early, late PlayStation 3, early PlayStation 4 type of graphics.
Yeah.
So I think that's where people are getting kind of there too, which, stuff from like, Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, Uncharted 4, which came out a long time ago, all the facial animations from that look so superior to what it saw on Halo Infinite, in my opinion at least. But I do think there were some other games on there that looked better than Halo Infinite did. Like, I saw Medium looked really good. That one actually was one that really stood out to me more than I thought than any of the other ones would. I really thought it had a really cool thing. It had some Silent Hill vibes to it. You had two different, you're in one world, but also the other world's going on at the same time. Did that jump out to any of you for the Medium game?
The Medium game? What did you say? It had what vibe?
Silent Hill type.
Oh,
vibe.
yeah. That
Wasn't Medium the one where you were playing one plane and then you can switch to the opposite plane in real time, and it shows like the dark, kind of, pardon my French, but like the hell aspect of the area that you're going through, like the what's that part in the Stranger Thing, the in between or the upside down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had it had that type of vibe to it. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and I thought that looked really good. I feel like that stuff looked better than what Halo Infinite brought to us. State of Decay, I know that was just probably just maybe just a cutscene of some kind, but State of Decay looked really good. I thought Stalker 2 looked really good. I thought they were a lot more appealing to the eye than what Halo Infinite looked gray and dull.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I feel like it may just been what they were showing in that world. Maybe if you're on the inside and you're looking somewhere else, it'll look better, but just what they chose to showcase just really did it a disservice, I believe. So, again, I have a PC, so if I want any of these games, I can get them. I don't have to get an Xbox Series X to get these. So, like I said, I can go through this list and be like, okay, and Fable, and Avowed is another one I thought that looked really good. I thought that looked kind of interesting. I don't know much about it, but that looked interesting. But I'll leave it at that for someone else to talk about. Fable coming out. I know a lot of fans are excited about that. I never played those, but I know that's huge. I know BF9 that's in the chat right now. I know he's really excited about it. I'm sure some of y'all might be some Fable fans as well. So I know that's interesting. So I thought there were some good games. I thought, maybe not as much. I mean, I guess I don't know if you'd say I'm a PlayStation fanboy, but I lean more towards that way. But I thought there were some good things on there. So like I said, if I want to get some of these, I can just pick and choose and play it on PC, and I don't have to worry about getting an Xbox Series X. So, that's all I got.
All right. AJ, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so before I get started, I just have to to take a survey. How excited did everyone get whenever you saw the Rareware logo, like,
I did.
fade out into the jungle? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad it wasn't just me then, because I about flipped my lid. Holy cannolis, it was insane.
I was thinking of Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, that too. To be fair, yeah, kind of the same, in the same family. But
I thought
in
possibly another
regards-
banjo.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking banjo for sure. But in lieu of all that, I think that just going off what Pudge said, also, I think that Halo was not the bright spot of the Microsoft conference that they had. Now, there were some amazing titles that they revealed in that. In that Microsoft Direct, the Everwild game we're getting from Rare, the Fable, Psychonauts 2, that was my big one that I was so pumped about. Anything with Jack Black, of course, is like, oh, Jack Black, everybody loves that guy. And then, like, you see, like, the trippy universe of Psychonauts, like, that's a very, very beloved cult classic on the GameCube that not a lot of people got to experience, and I'm so excited that they're revisiting, that franchise and utilizing that. Now, an analogy that I made, and thinking about how all of these games are going to be free with the Xbox Game Pass, right? That's the big news of the whole thing, is that all these titles out of the gate are going to be free if you have Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I was thinking about that too, in the same sense that, comparing the gaming industry to the music industry. Think about how many artists nowadays release their songs either for free on streaming services or for free download, on the basis that the fans are going to pay for the merch, they're going to pay for the tickets, they're going to pay for the experience. Same thing with the gaming universe. If Microsoft includes all these games for free with Game Pass, that's half the battle. All they got to do now is sell the Xbox and also, the Xbox Live and the Game Pass with that. Now, I think the bad move, though, was simultaneously promising all of these same titles on PC, because it doesn't do Microsoft any favors, and it's not going to help them move the console, the hardware, if all the software is also available on PC. But I think either way, regardless of how the software moves, I think that there are a lot of things to be excited about with this Microsoft Direct. I think that Halo is, it might not have looked so great at the time. I think that at the end, Halo is probably going to deliver. I think that Microsoft probably learned their lesson with Halo 5, and I think they're going to branch off that and really focus on making Halo Infinite a better experience for all of Xbox players, for sure.
For sure. Mama Remy, what about you?
So I woke up, guys, right before the showcase, and Rika's like, guys, Xbox Showcase! And I'm like, oh. And then one of my mods is like, hey, the showcase! I was like, can I have a link to that, please? I need to watch it. Rika's gonna have us talk about it on Sunday. I should really watch this. And I haven't even had my coffee yet. I haven't even, like, wiped, like, the stuff, like, the sleep out of my eyes yet. Like, and a couple of you content creators know, because I will go to certain people and I'll be like, I'm here, but I'm not awake. And they're like, are you a grumpy Remy? And I'm like, I'm grumpy. And then after about an hour, they're like, is Remy still grumpy? Like, no, I have my coffee. I'm good. But I'm watching this and I've got, like, my hand on my face and it's like, another shooter game. Another shooter game. Oh, a military shooter game. Oh, apocalyptic shooter game. Oh, apocalyptic military shooter game. Yay! Oh, it's coming to the PC. 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 Oh, wait, this trailer actually made me laugh. Like, I was so bored, except for when the Outer Worlds trailer dropped. That actually made me laugh. The Grounded trailer made me laugh because it was hilarious. It's like, if you're waiting for the biggest game of the summer, wait for Cyberpunk, But if you want the smallest, so it's like, that made me laugh. And I was like, okay, these are actually pretty good. I like these. Actually, out of all of those games that dropped, the only one that actually really interests me and I'm actually really hyped for is Ask Me Why, or Tell Me Why, or I forget what the name is, but it's made by the same company that does Life is Strange.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It looked really, really good. I'm actually really interested in that, and I'm actually excited because it's coming to the PC. That might be something I can actually play. But I know it was the games showcase. But what I don't understand is because of this and all these titles are coming to the PC, the new Xbox console is going to be the console that you don't even really need. You just need the Games Pass. So is Xbox trying to compete with PlayStation as a console, or are they trying to compete them with games? Because as a console, they're not going to be able to compete with PlayStation at all, because you can get all these games on the PC or through the Games Pass that you know, so it's these games you don't really even need the Xbox for. So really, why are they trying to compete with PlayStation? But at the same time, they're giving us a lot of games that are I was so wrapped up in this earlier, but now like I was so mad. It was like my mod chat was nothing but but now that like it's all said and done, I'm just like whatever. But like we don't even need the console for these games, except for a few, except for a very select few. I think Fable is one of them. There was another one that's not coming, that's console exclusive. I can't remember what the other one is, but it's why
You won't be able to play on PC.
yeah, it's like why is Xbox doing this? Now they'll be able to compete with PlayStation because of that specifically, but it's going to be Microsoft competing with Sony, not Xbox competing with PlayStation. So that's something that I've always had an issue with, because it's like these aren't really console exclusives, and they have these really rare oddity games that actually are console exclusives. It's like, why are you keeping this on the console? This would be so much better on the PC. So, you know, you're going to get the people like me that when there are these actual rare few that are actually console exclusives, they're going to go, they should have been on the PC. And then you have also people like me that are like, why are these games on the PC if you're trying to make another console? You're not going to make any money. And it's like, you know, so it's like I'm literally playing devil's advocate here. But why can't we have more RPGs?
Like what? What would you want?
I just want some. Okay, as I was telling my mod chats, that it's why can't we have something like Octopath Traveler? Once again, that was the last greatest RPG that has been pushed out. That is a true turn-based RPG, like the good old days, that's been released. Why can't we have something like that come out? Everything
Back in my day.
is exactly everything's a shooter now, and it doesn't interest me. And I think maybe this is more like and actually a discussion of like the Games Pass, but everything's a shooter. It's all shooters. Oh, look, it's a shooter. Oh, it's a military shooter. Oh, it's an apocalyptic military shooter. Oh, it's just a demon shooter. Like, oh, more just. Why can't I just have more RPGs, please, please, please? Someone produce more RPGs for me. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Someone wake me up whenever she's done.
Right.
Well, it's so funny that you say that, because I never played my first turn-based RPG until like not long ago doing Final Fantasy VII, and it was fun. But man, like for some people they'll probably like, oh god, I can't even do those. But I can see how it appeals to a lot of those other folks though. But I get you. I mean, it would be nice to kind of see a little more of that, because there's so much of a turn. You know, I don't know if it's because of people like me, but you don't see much of that anymore. Like if you did, I mean, especially since it's a lot more static, you don't have as much dynamic stuff going on with it. They can make those types of games look beautiful, like really beautiful. Like, and there's people that would that are diehard like Final Fantasy fans, Chrono Trigger fans, or Chrono Cross fans that would eat that stuff up. They would, and they can make them look better than a lot of these other games because there's a lot more static stuff going on. So I feel like you're onto something, Mama Remy.
There you go. Chadley, what are your thoughts, my friend?
I was in and out during the live stream of this presentation, but a lot of the stuff that I saw, I wasn't overly impressed. Again, also the fact that everything, well, not everything, but I guess everything is coming to the PC as well. So it's kind of like I tried pulling up a list where I could find just one game that they said was only coming to the Series X, and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
So to me, it's kind of like, okay, I understand. Yeah, everything's coming to the PC. A lot of the people that are fortunate enough to have a PC that's powerful or more powerful than the Xbox Series X will be able to run these games with no troubles. There are a lot of people that just don't have the luxury to have a PC that will be able to play these games at the same type of quality as a Series X or a PlayStation 5 or whatever. So I mean, I guess that's where Microsoft is probably trying to. That's where they're hoping. That's what they're hoping for, really. I mean, that's what any of these companies are hoping for, is that people that don't already have the really awesome PC, that they're gonna be like, oh, well, I can just buy the console because it's still cheaper than trying to buy the PC that's going to do the same thing. But like some of the games, yeah, I mean, Psychonauts, I never played the original Psychonauts, but the one they showed off was, I just thought looked really good. I mean, just from all of the colors and just the vibrance of everything and just the craziness of everything that goes on in that game, just looks really, really good. I mean, Forza is Forza. I mean, it's a realistic driving simulator. I mean, but every time they come out with a new Forza, it's amazing to me, like how realistic they make it look.
Yeah.
Everwild, even though it wasn't what we were expecting or what we were hoping for, I thought looked good. I mean, it's using that same similar technique of like the cell shading. It looked like it was a mixture of art style, though. It wasn't just cell shading, but it kind of reminded me of like games like Rime and even a little bit of Breath of the Wild, just because of the art style. But I mean, it looked really good. I actually was going to say something about the one game Remy mentioned, but it's not of the same opinion. Tell me why I got turned off from that game, because either the game is still in development or I felt that the modeling in that game did not look good at all.
No,
I agree.
it did not. It
I
was
was
very
more after the
underwhelming.
story
I
of
thought that
that
was an
game
Xbox
than
One game.
anything.
You can
I
play that.
felt
You
like-
can play that on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I felt like I was looking at models from like Sims 4, unfortunately. So, but I mean, the game. I'm sure the story is going to be great. Like I felt that the presentation of it was good. It's just that I felt it just looked to me like it was unfinished, and they were showing. I'm hoping they were just showing models that were like not polished yet. I don't know. That was my opinion. It was just the game looks interesting, but I kind of got turned off from the way the models looked. So
Bradley, would you say that the models, like, they looked like they had like no life about their faces, like they just looked very static?
I think it was the animation. I think the model itself, like when you see screenshots of the models, because I went to their website and the screenshots looked better than what I saw in the video. And I think it was just when I saw them talking, it was very robotic. It was not fluid like we're used to seeing with the types of ways that they can capture animation now of facial movement and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm being very nitpicky about it, but it was just that was the main thing I noticed right away. And if you notice stuff like that and it's a problem, I guess, then I don't know. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky. I don't know. But
Yeah, no. For
No,
sure.
I agree with you.
but again, I'm the same person that plays games that are like 20 years old, and
But they're 20 years old.
I know, but they look worse than that game.
But it was good. It was good at the time.
Yes, and that's where the nostalgia glasses come into play. You know, you overlook the fact that it looks 20 years old, as long as you have fun with it. So yeah, I mean, tell me why it sounds like it's going to be a very compelling story, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like now I feel like I'm just being nitpicky. So
That's okay.
And I don't know if I might be wrong on this. Now, Xbox, most of the stuff they talked about was like graphics and stuff like that. Did they? And I could be wrong. I just don't know. Has there been any talk about like how they're changing like audio, or like, you know, like on PS5 they're having like the haptic feedback? on their controllers. Is the Xbox controller going to have anything like that? Do we know, Rico,
really
about
said.
that?
They
I don't
haven't
think
really
we know
said.
yet.
They focus mainly on the graphics and graphics.
Okay.
That's really and that's the disappointment where it comes in with this event, where people are really using Halo because that was supposed to be their game. That's their game, and it's like what you said, Pudge, about that character, the first guy. People were complaining because they're like Halo. I can't remember what it's called, Guardians or something like that, which is the last one. They were saying that game looks stupidly good, like 10 times better. And then we were joking about it on stream, saying that it was the beard, how the beard looked all fake and whatnot, because it's just how he appeared. But then people were comparing, they're like, look at beards on these games, and they were showing different beards, how they look more lifelike. And they're like, and they can't even pull it off with Halo. Then to put a little bit more salt on everything, Microsoft came out and said, oh yeah, this was running on a PC. So we were like, wow, like if this was what it looks like on PC, I mean, what are we to expect? So people weren't too thrilled about it. I know that much. They were hating hard on that game. I actually really like that. What was that game called? The one with you're shrunk and you're like small and running around in the dirt.
Grounded, I think.
Grounded, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that
Bugs
one.
Life Part 2.
Honey, I Shrunk the
Sadly.
Kids. They need higher Chadley still.
That's
right?
That's godlike. That's not lifelike. That's godlike, Chadley.
So that game looked fun. I thought that looked more of a let's pick it up on the PC and get 4 people to play and let's do it, you know? So I was excited for that one. State of Decay, I got super stoked for because I played the first one and the second one. I have them both, and I love them. I love them to death. So I got really excited about the new one. Hopefully it's as good or better. Stalker, I'm a big fan of Stalker. I don't know if you guys ever played it. It's really cool, post-apocalyptic, more like Chernobyl type thing going on, and it's like super scary. It's good. It's a good action scary game. So I got really excited that they were bringing it out. So, but overall, like, I'm not a Forza guy. I always thought they make great designed car game, you know. So, but I'm not into that stuff. But I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Looks good. Then there was the Fable teaser, and I was so mad that it was just Fable. We can't really say it looks good because there was no real gameplay. But with the little bit of comedy we got from it, I'm really hoping that it sticks with that comedy in the actual game. It'll make it just that much better. So I'm very looking forward to another Fable. So you're making me blush, but so yeah, I don't know. I don't think they hit the mark with this one, Xbox, especially because they took to Twitter after PlayStation did their presentation, and they were like, that's not how you do a presentation, PlayStation. And then they kind of dropped it with theirs. So I mean, can't do that, right? I was rooting for them. I'm not gonna lie. I was rooting for them, and I was like, maybe they're gonna show something that we can only get on the Xbox. But knowing that it's all coming for PC, it just kind of loses that feel. I'm just like, okay, well, I can get that for PC. Well, why would I spend money on the console if I know it's coming for PC, right? So I don't know. And then, I mean, I know it's not a big deal that they ran the Halo game on the PC. I think my only concern was like, again, comes down to the graphics. There was like, they would show explosions. There was not a lot of detail in the explosions. The sound didn't sound phenomenal, you know. You hear a blast and it wasn't echoey or something that made you go, yeah, that's hot, right? I mean, it is what it is. Phantasy Star looked good. I'm not gonna lie, I like MMORPGs, and Phantasy Star, I was like, yeah, that looks cool. I'm actually really interested in. I'm probably not gonna play it because I don't feel like playing another subscription, but it looked really interesting. And then that gunk game, I don't know if you guys saw that one. The girl had like this thing on her arm, and there's like this gunky stuff that looked interesting. And then Psychonauts 2. As soon as Jack Black started singing, I was like, yeah, this game's gonna be cool because the music's gonna be awesome. Jack Black has pipes on him, man. Gotta give the guy some credit. Then they showed Tetris game, and I'm not a Tetris fan, so I was like, okay, pass on that. But the one thing that I found kind of sad is, again, they're pushing for Destiny 2, and I don't know why everyone is so obsessed with pushing Destiny 2 so much. I mean, Google did it, and now Xbox is doing it. I don't know if maybe they want to be known, Bungie wants them to be known for Destiny 2 rather than Halo, or I really don't know, but we've done Destiny 2 so much, I'm kind of sick of seeing it. Not to mention that you got it for free at one point from Epic Games, so I don't know, not Epic Games, what are they called? Who makes it? Anyways, but you got it for free at one point too, so Blizzard, yes, thank you. You got it for free from them that one time too, so I don't know. We have that. And then the Medium game. So I was a little confused with Medium. I'm excited for it because it looks like something new, something exciting. The only thing was, so is it simultaneously what you're looking at on one end is showing something else on the other end? Like what she sees through her eyes is what we see on the other end? Or is it just they were showing both at the same time, just showing you, look, this is what you're gonna see, but you'll be playing in both worlds?
I think what it was is
Play to
that
find out.
you, from my understanding, it was while you're walking through, let's say like you're walking through your house, Rigo, and you close your eyes and you take yourself to the dark plane. You can see all like the hellfire, you know, demon, you know, kind of things, you know, with your eyes closed, and you can kind of walk around in that, you know, while you're actually walking through, you know, your house. Still, you're just experiencing everything in this other world, but the moment you open your eyes back up, you're still in the same spot, but now that you're back on this plane, you know, things are back to normal. So it's kind of like a dual planed but simultaneous plane, but they're just showing you both planes in the preview to kind of show you what everything's like as you play. That's my understanding of it. It actually looks really good.
Yeah. No, it looks
Have
good.
have you ever played any of the Silent Hill games, Rigo?
I played all of them, yeah.
Okay, well then that's kind of what because I played the first 4. I haven't played any of the other ones, but that's kind of feeling I got from it was that something similar to that.
Yeah. Because I was like, that's exactly because I was like, okay, you remember in number 1 or number 2, you start off in the regular world, and then you walk around, did whatever, and next thing you know, it turned into the monster world. So that's how I was like, are we doing it like that, or are we doing it where one side you're gonna see regular, but what we don't get to see in real life from a medium is what they're showing us on the other side. So I was like, it's just interesting though. It gives you a nice little concept of maybe what quote and unquote a medium actually sees in real life. I mean, I don't believe them, so whatever.
I thought that one. I thought medium, and I would like to know what everyone thinks about the Avowed one. That one kind of, I didn't know what I thought about that one, but it actually looked really good. But mediums, I feel like is the one that really, that one, and what was the other one? State of Decay probably is the ones that really stuck out to me the most.
I just have to go back.
I don't really know what Avowed is. Like, does anybody know? Like, or is it something brand new?
We saw the video, and it was just like an arrow flying and stuff like that. So I really, I got that feeling of medieval times, and I like games like that. I really like games like that. At first I thought it was one game from Might and Magic, because that's what it felt like. I was like, it's a Might and Magic game, but I think I'm really interested.
Good game.
I'm really interested in it. I think that whole, like, again, that whole concept of medieval times, it gives you this great feeling, and it is, they're saying it's an RPG, so it might be like,
I think Obsidian's doing it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I might have to look into that. I'm definitely interested.
That one kind of stuck out to me too. I'd like to learn more about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And with a name like Obsidian attached, you know it's got to be some level of quality, you know?
Exactly. Warhammer 4000. So they didn't really show much. It was just like a little clip. But have you guys ever played a Warhammer game? I've never played a Warhammer game.
My husband is obsessed with Warhammer, so I know I haven't played it myself, but I've seen a lot of the gameplay. It's like you know, Age of Empire, like that type of game where you're controlling these mass armies in real time, and you have them, you know, set up camps and attack this camp and build an empire here, that kind of thing.
Okay. So it's like a real-time strategy game.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Okay. I'm not good at those.
Is it like an over-the-top like strategy game?
Yeah,
like...
it's overhead. It's overhead. Okay. Yep.
Well, then I can't do it.
But I you know, for Psychonauts, I feel like that's gonna be their platformer that they're like how Ratchet and Clank is for PlayStation. I feel that's the game gonna be for Xbox. I'm excited. I like the first one. The first one was friggin' hilarious and it was really well done. So I can't wait to see what we got in store for this one. But yeah, that's really all I got to say about Xbox, other than, hey, I wish you guys luck. But definitely, because all the games are coming out for PC, whatever I'm interested on, I'm definitely picking up for PC. There's no point of me picking up an Xbox unless little man says, Dad, I want an Xbox. Right? But yeah. Let's see. I thought I saw a question for us, but I lost it. Everybody's chatting. I lost it. Anyways, guys, is there anything else you guys want to add to it? No? Maybe?
I don't have anything specific now.
No.
I don't either.
Nothing specific. We've heard a lot out of the world of Nintendo specifically yesterday.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is,
yes.
you know, there was for anyone that doesn't know, there was a huge leak. And basically
yeah,
it was
that's right.
The source code for, I think, 4 or 5 really prominent titles were all leaked. Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island were 2. Diamond and Pearl was 1. We got to see a lot of beta. Pokemon from Gen 4, which, you know, I think that's a good thing and a bad thing. I think that while it's always very interesting to learn about the history of development and, you know, look at these games and see, you know, oh, what could have been or what would have been. But at the same time, there was a lot of stuff that was leaked that I think was really detrimental to the people that were involved with the creation. Something specifically that comes to mind is the source code for Star Fox 2 was leaked, which was it was an almost complete game that never got released back in the day, but it was re-released from the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
And the source code was leaked for Star Fox 2, and there were personal notes about the developers' diary and basically personal notes about their personal life and office life. And I think those types of things don't help anyone. I think that really is just overall kind of a, you know, more of a information leak and probably got more people in trouble than what it did good. But yeah, I think we'll see a lot of, you know, especially over the next few days as the data miners kind of dig further and further into that, we'll see a lot more, you know, early beta footage and sprites and things like that of some of those old games, which is interesting. It's exciting.
Apparently, I've seen Luigi was supposed to be in the Nintendo 64 Mario game. Apparently, in like the Super Mario Brothers for the Super Nintendo, the World, I think they seen Luigi like flipping the bird.
Yep.
Apparently, there was an old man Yoshi's
Grandpa
World.
Yoshi.
There's all the stuff that AJ mentioned about, you know, the personal life with like the Star Fox, and then there was like all these original beta. There was like a beta legendary that got cut from one of the Pokemon games. There was a whole evolution line of Pokemon that got cut. I've seen a lot of that stuff on Twitter. Like, you scroll through Twitter and you just can't get away from it. I think out of everything, the old Grandpa Yoshi was like the best, because he's like walking with like a little cane and he's got like a Chadley beard, and it's it's so perfect. And
Like,
it's
if you look at my stream, I have it up.
I see it, Grandpa Yoshi, yeah.
It was amazing.
I don't know, the things they have. That's good though. I mean,
I love Daddy.
Sorry, I'm late.
I did not. He's trolling me.
All right, guys. Thank you again for coming out, guys. I had a lot of fun. This was fun.
This was awesome.
Yeah, this
Thanks
was
for
so much
inviting
fun.
me.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking us to be on. This was a whole lot.
Of course, guys.
This is good. This is really interesting. And yeah, guys, be sure to subscribe to Spanish Dude if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe and like.
Yeah, anyone that's here too, be sure.
This is my channel for uploading. I only do live streams once a month, which is my TacoCast. Most of my live streams are over on Twitch, so definitely the subscription is more and welcome. Like I said, I'm working on a video series that's coming out hopefully tomorrow. Crossing my fingers. So I'm very proud of that. Guys, Pudge, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule coming out and joining us. AJ, thank you as well for taking time from your schedule.
Yeah, good to meet you, AJ. I wouldn't have followed you too.
Thanks, appreciate you.
Chadley, thank you again as well. And Mama Remy, thank you as well. Always taking the time to come and join us. I super appreciate it. Guys, let's go on a raid. We have what, 30 people? So let's see, who can we go scare? I always enjoy scaring people. You guys have any ideas? Let me know.
Ferran is streaming right now.
Let's see.
James.
Flapper streaming. What is
There's
Flapper?
quite a few, yeah.
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 I mean, it is Saturday. No, it's Sunday. God bless America.
Let's see who has
There's a lot of people, man.
lowest
Yeah,
count
I've
right
got
now.
quite a few.
I'm looking for someone with a low count.
That would be Flapper for me.
Flapper? Yeah, I have Flapper too.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Damn.
Flapper.
I love Flapper.
Let's go to
I love
Flapper.
that guy.
awesome.
He's the best.
We'll give him a scare. I think he'd appreciate it. All right, guys, we're gonna go on a raid. Can't find the chat. There you are. We're gonna use hashtag TacoTeam raid, guys, and we're gonna go scare Flapper. Thank you again,
Hello,
guys.
Daddy.
Super appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Let's do it. Let's go on a raid. Let's go give him a nice scare. Where's my internet
Alright.
stuff? Gonna put
Thanks
the-
again, man. We'll see you later, dude. It's good to have you. Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
for sure.
thank you so much. And thank you guys all for tuning in. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.
You
Let's
too.
do it.
Good
Let's
to meet
go
you.
give him a hashtag TacoTeam raid. Let's see what he says. He's always into the RPG stuff too.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of these
Oh,
flies
Flapper
first.
plays just gems.
Yeah.
Turn based, so you know Mama Remy's gonna love him.
Oh yeah, Flapper's one of my favorites.
He doesn't
Flapper.
have a clue.
Hey,
Oh, here he
Taco
goes.
Team Raid. Uh-oh.
There he is.
Oh, I think they had their TacoCast. Welcome, Raiders. Hope everybody's doing well.
Awesome. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another stream. By the way, guys, if any of you guys are interested in these wonderful people, their links are in the description below. So definitely go check them out. Go give them a sub. Go give them some love. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Don't forget the most important thing in the whole wide world. Come to my live stream. I'm super famous. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.
See you later.
Woohoo. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
This was so
Good.
fun.
It was-
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Awesome
I've never
having
done
you
one of
guys
these
on.
before.
Me
This is fun.
neither.
I felt like we were all pretty good at it. I felt like we had a good rapport with each other. You know.